Well, everyone, there's now a little bit of a funny update with the iPhone 5S. Now, the iPhone 5S is a phone that came out back in 2013, so it's been 11 years since this particular iPhone has came out. And when it first came out, it was legendary. I loved this iPhone, and it was a very, very good device in a lot of different ways. But now I think a lot of people would probably agree that it is a very old iPhone. It's not the newest thing anymore. And you're definitely going to be running into a lot of problems if you're trying to use this iPhone on an everyday basis. But the cool thing to keep in mind with something like the iPhone 5S is that this is actually an iPhone that is now technically getting a little bit of an update. But it's not the update that probably a lot of people would be hoping for. The iPhone 5S is now actually technically a vintage iPhone. Apple has now basically declared this thing as a vintage device or an obsolete product. And this means that this particular iPhone is not going to be, first of all, being sold in the Apple stores, which is a given, but it's also not going to be basically getting services anymore either. So Apple is no longer giving repairs or other hardware services for this device. And basically, Apple considers a device obsolete once 7 years has passed. And now for this thing, it's been even more than 7 years. It's been like 11 years. And this thing was still supported with, some things here and there. Now, I also think that this is going to change the software updates on iOS 12 that this iPhone was getting as well. So some of you may know this, but the iPhone 5S was still getting some software updates here and there after this iPhone was being, basically supported. It's pretty crazy because this thing actually had a really long lifespan ahead of it, which in and of itself was very, very wild. The fact that this iPhone was giving you those types of software updates for that period of time is absolutely crazy. And even when I still look at this thing, it is without a doubt still one of the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I think the iPhone 5S is actually the longest supported iPhone of all time, which that in and of itself is also a very crazy thing. And every time I look at this particular device, I'm just so happy about it. So I will tell you with the iPhone 5S, although this wouldn't be the first iPhone I'd recommend people to buy, I do think in a lot of different ways, this is a very, very good iPhone. And it was just a very interesting device that Apple made because it was right before their big changes with their bigger bodies. And I do think for a lot of people, for those many years, this iPhone was legendary. I never personally used an iPhone 5S, but I've owned a lot of them, and I've compared the iPhone 5S against a lot of devices that came out recently. And I will tell you, in my personal opinion, the iPhone 5S in a lot of different ways gets a thumbs up for me. But just don't buy this thing anymore. It doesn't make any sense buying it, but it's a very decent iPhone when it comes down to it. So that kind of covers it up here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.